Hi, and welcome to Prairie Rose. Kathy and I are district instructional leads, and we are going to talk today about something that is deep in both of our hearts, and that is learning to read.
Absolutely. First off, we want to say that as we continue to work on reading skills for our middle school and high school students, we want to continue to teach vocabulary in a really meaningful way. And typically, what we might do is have a list of vocabulary words for our content area or whatever unit we're teaching. And we have kids maybe write them down, maybe write a definition beside them, is usually typically kind of an old school method to doing that. And we wanted to kind of make that a little more meaningful, and another way to engage in this vocabulary that really is at the heart of our content learning is to do it in a more meaningful way. So students they need to know how to spell the word, they need to know how to pronounce the word, and they need to be able to attach meaning to that word in order for it to be mapped in our minds. And that's the whole idea around orthographic mapping. Kids learn to spell and read through sound and letter correspondence. Memorizing it never works for students. Memorizing is not going to help them spell, it's not going to help them pronounce it, and it's not going to help them have meaning for that word.
So another thing, Kathy, too, is that all of this that we're going to look at today with the orthographic mapping totally is going to be a continuation of what our students have been learning in grades K to 3 with the science of reading and UFly. So this is going to be continuing that discussion as well. What you might be asking yourself if you're in grade 4 to 12 is, why do I have to do this? I teach high school science, or I teach grade 7 social studies. Why do I have to? Here's the thing. Across our schools, we know that we have students who still need reading support at all grade levels. And it is our job as teachers to provide this, even if you're a science teacher or a social studies teacher, a phys ed teacher. As much as there's reading involved in our courses, we need to help our teachers, and the methods that we're going to show are teaching word work. They're getting at the heart of words, and that will benefit all students, from your weakest readers to your strongest readers.
Absolutely, and don't forget, we have students coming in who are using English as their second language, so they're additional language learners, and this can be really helpful for them when learning to read our language or write in our language. So, why word work for vocabulary? It's simple. The word work that we do with vocabulary in our content areas is going to improve the reading habits of our students. It's going to improve the comprehension for our students, their knowledge of the unit itself, and reading independence. And we do always want to move our kids toward independence.
And again, just a reminder that there is and there should be reading in every subject area. Sometimes as teachers, we just resort to reading it to our kids. And while there's a time for that, we really, again, as Kathy mentioned, we want to build reading independence. We want them to make readers for the future. Every subject has language and a reading style of its own. We might have used the term before, disciplinary literacy. You might have done some work on that a few years ago. So disciplinary literacy is really important for your subject area. You write like a scientist, you read like a scientist, or like a geographer. Those are very specific roles. And as subject specialists, then we must appreciate or apprentice our students to read in our content areas. There's going to be words and word endings, word beginnings, suffixes, prefixes, root words that keep coming up. We want to build our students up in understanding those, and then also certain sounds and sound letter correspondences that will come up again in our subject areas as well. And so at the heart of that, we need to explicitly model word work strategies that will improve both the reading and the writing. When we work on unpacking words, as we're going to show you over the course of a bunch of videos, how to orthographic map. As we do that, that's going to improve students' reading and their writing. And so we hope that you'll join us in some other videos where we model how to orthographic map and talk about words with your students. And that is a job for every teacher, not just the language arts teacher.